Believe it or not, but 2024 is coming by quick, which means then there's 12 months of 2025. And so it seems like a good time to talk about NASCAR 25, NASCAR 2025, iRacing 2020, whatever iRacing wants to call it. NASCAR 25, the next installation in the NASCAR console gaming series, will be coming in 2025. And guys, as I like to usually do when there's a game on the way, or we know that there's a game on the way, now would be the best time to leave your comments down below to try and get your message across to iRacing and their developers to see what you guys want in the game. So this video is mainly going to be about what I think is needed in the game, not necessarily what I want, what I think it is needed. Very, very different distinction between the two, because what I want, oh, I'd love an owner mode, like a whole garage area where I could build my cars, you know, RPG. I got to create a character and like walk him through the garage area and talk to my crew members and stuff, and like literally like a 2K park of NASCAR essentially, like kind of like that. That's what I would like. That's what I would want. Is that ever going to happen in any time soon, or even in the realm of possibilities? No, probably not. Okay, it's not going to happen. But what's needed is a lot different than what is wanted. And so that is what this video is going to be about today. So leave your comments down below. Hopefully we can get this video shared around. Hopefully people at iRacing indeed see it, and they can again kind of put it on the list of what is already being worked on, because the game is in full development as of now. And so things will be on the table, things will be off the table, things will be cut, things will be brought on later in development. So now is a great time to try and tell iRacing what you want in the games. There was iRacing put out like little polls and stuff and questions in the fan council debating on what fans would want in a NASCAR game. So the NASCAR was getting involved in that with the fan council to try to get data and information for them. So leave your comments down below of what you think is needed in the game, or what you want. But again, this video is about what we need. I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon members, as always, for supporting the channel. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you guys so much for your support, as always. And we are live streaming tonight at 8 o'clock league race in the truck series that we've been doing in the Great Lakes Racing League. Should have won at Pocono last week, but I made a bad pit crew call because I'm not a crew chief, and I decided to pit, and everybody else stayed out, and I lost the race because of it. So very bad on my part, but we will try to win tonight. So this is gonna be more of a discussion video, guys, kind of chill back, laid back video today. So what do you think is needed? And again, my opinion is going to differ from your opinions. I'm not a designer, graphic designer. I'm not someone who does paint schemes, and makes cars. So like a paint booth for me is going to be lower on the list than for you if you like to design race cars. That's just not my type of thing. I'm not an artist. I'm not creative. I don't have a creative ounce in my body, which is why it's really funny that I am a content creator, because I am not creative. Look, I'm just being honest, right? I mean, I cannot, listen, you told me to draw a car right now. I can't do it. All right, my artistic ability is very, very bad. All right, I cannot, the colors, the patterns, putting everything together, it is not my thing. So a paint booth for me is not necessary, but for you it most likely is necessary. And I will just flat out say it, customization is needed. I'm not going to go with a full paint booth. I'm not going to say that, but customization, I think this is something that NASCAR games have lacked for a long time. And not just the cars, guys. I think customizing you as a race car driver is something that NASCAR games are just not doing, and they haven't done in a really long time. And I could go all the way back. Let's forget about the Heat games, go back to Technics, even forget about that. I can go all the way back to the EA days. Even EA did not do that, okay? Like EA wasn't even doing that. Even in NASCAR 9 with that paint booth, which was fantastic because you could transfer something from the computer onto the console, that was great. And so that is something that, you know, I would love to see, but there's a lot of legal reasons around that. Will iRacing be able to do it? Because of course, with NASCAR 9, guys, let's just be honest, there were race cars on the track, if you saw custom paint schemes, that were not age appropriate. Let's just say that. If you remember that, then you know what I'm talking about. There was a lot of inappropriate things going on because there was no limitations back then. Back in 2008, 2009, there was no limitation for EA when it came to a paint booth, that literally you could go on your computer and then transport it to the console. Well, just think about everything that you can do on the computer and then put it onto the car. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So having something like that is not likely, because on iRacing we have trading paints, right? I don't know if we're going to be able to ever get trading paints over to a console side of thing. So that would be my ideal way to do a paint booth for a console game, but some sort of customization is necessary for you as a driver, for your area, whether that be, you know, on the main menu, if you are in a garage area, if you have a race shop or something like that, if that's how they determine to make the game, then you need to be able to customize those types of things. I want to be able to customize my fire suit. I want to be able to customize shoes. I want to be able to customize, like, knee guards or gloves. Like, if I'm in the cockpit, I want to be able to customize gloves. I want to be able to customize my helmet. These are things that I actually think is necessary because we've never really seen them in a NASCAR console game. And yes, iRacing does do it via trading paints. You can customize your fire suit, you can customize your pit crew's fire suit, you can customize your helmet and stuff like that. There are games out there like the ride games, the supercross games, really any supercross or ride game where you can actually customize helmets and fire suits and shoes and all that. I think that's very, very important because it's not just the car, it's also you. That's one thing that NASCAR games have just not been able to get across, is that yes, you are the driver, you can be the owner, but let's customize you. It really immerses you into the game. So I think that's extremely necessary for the game, and I'm not going in any particular order, by the way, guys. I'm not going in any particular order. We're just kind of talking, just discussing that I think that is what's necessary in the game, but I'm not going to put it in a particular order. What's also necessary is graphically getting all tracks to be as accurate as possible with the cars as well. This is something that is obviously a given, but I think in terms of importance, this is actually iRacing's #1 importance. I actually think the cars and the tracks, which is what we all take for granted, for this first game is the most important thing for them, which is basically getting all the tracks as accurate as possible, depending on whether they're going to be able to scan these tracks and put them in the game. Scanning is very, very expensive, so obviously you can see, like with iRacing on the actual simulator, how expensive it is to scan these tracks and to put them on the service. So when it comes to a console game, will they be able to maybe take some tracks, or how are they going to do that? What are they going to do with the tracks? Are they going to be scanned? Are they going to be created? We will see how it goes. And also, I mean, we'll just jump into this as well. We don't know what the game engine is going to be. iRacing has said is that it's not going to be Unity engine. They've already said that we made a video on that a while ago. So if it's not going to be Unity engine, we don't know what game engine they're going to use. So they might, I don't know if they're working on something on their own, or are they working on some tech sides of things where they might try to start with a base game engine and make it their own engine. How will that work? We don't really know. So that's going to be really, really fascinating to see what game engine they use, and then will they be able to scan tracks. And obviously the physics system, the cars, how they react to the track is going to be what iRacing focuses on, I think, the most. They are extremely, extremely focused on making a console NASCAR game that, while it's not as realistic as iRacing on the simulator on your computer, it is still a very, very realistic experience, while also bringing in a casual and somewhat arcadey feel. The keyword, simcade. If iRacing can hit a simcade on console, it is absolutely perfect. Make assists for people that you need them, your driving lines, all that stuff, traction control, all steering help, whatever you need. Put that on there for people that need them, but then when you take everything off, it drives as realistically as it possibly can, with a wheel and with a controller. And that's what's iRacing's first attempt at this, is really getting a stock car on a console game to behave on a controller as similar as it is to a wheel. You can't make one overpowered over the other. It's always a big challenge for developers, is making the gamepad and the controller as equal as possible to the wheel and not having a benefit of one or the other. And even some of the greatest games that we remember, guys, there was a benefit. NASCAR 09, if you had a wheel, you can easily, definitely 100% hold your line at plate tracks, and even at mile and a half, way better than if you had a controller. However, at looser racetracks on NASCAR 9, at tracks that you really had to fight the wheel a little bit, it was actually better to be on a controller because you had quicker movement with the thumbstick than on a wheel. So you want to make sure that those advantages between a controller and a wheel at certain tracks are as minimal as possible, and you make it as close as possible for competitive reasons, obviously, so that way when esports comes around, even though ideally when esports comes around, I would assume everyone would be on a wheel. You would kind of want them to all be on a wheel, but maybe some people will be on controller, and it'll do that way. So that's actually a little bit of a dilemma there as well, what you'll do with that. And some people might disagree with me there, because On the F1 games, most people use a wheel. If I know the esports guys, they kind of all use a wheel. So maybe it is okay if you want to have that little bit of advantage on the wheel. So that's going to be incredibly important for iRacing. Third on the list for me, to be honest, is a career mode. It's a career mode. It's needed. Now, I'm not going to say exactly in how much detail, because what I'm saying is I just want to be able to create a driver, and if you want me to only be a driver, I'm okay with that. If you want to give me the option to be an owner, okay, I'm cool with that too. But what's needed is being able to be a driver, being able to get signed by a team, being able to get sponsors, being able to maybe do interviews with media, social media, stuff like that, and for the seeds to be planted for future updates on the game. What I mean by that is, as many people want to bash NASCAR 20 Ignition, I will bash NASCAR 20 Ignition as well. NASCAR 20 Ignition involved money and stats and all that stuff. They involved money because their plan in the future was to make that money for an owner mode. So I would just like to see those types of things in this game, where they kind of set up the career mode to be ready for an owner mode down the line, or for more involved stuff. And so that's neat. What I would want also, like, in the line would be like a story mode, like an actual cool cinematic story mode. That'd be really cool, but I don't think that's necessary at all, which is why I'm not putting it in that list right now. It's not needed. It is not. Those types of modes, like a story mode that a lot of fans have asked for, while they are really good marketing wise, you will notice that, like, once you play it once, however long it might be, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, once you play it once and then you don't play it anymore, and then there's nothing else, and then the rest of the game is the same, you then realize in the long term, oh, that wasn't really worth it, right? Because you finished that kind of story mode, but the rest of the game is the same. And F1 had that same exact issue with Breaking Point. They tried to do Breaking Point over and over and over, but they don't change literally anything else, and so people get tired of it because the rest of the game is the same. And if you've heard that from EA, the game being the same, it's because they do those tactics. They market Breaking Point to you as much as possible, and while, yeah, people might have fun with it, it's never that memorable, and the story's never all that great, and it's really, all it is just making you play a character in race scenarios, where instead you could have me be my own character, to let me just create my own character, and in a separate mode give me race scenarios. Remember what those are, guys? Those are challenges. So that's what I mean. These story mode things are kind of just bait. They're like marketing tactics to get you to buy the game, and then once you buy the game and you play that, and then you don't refund it, they kind of got you, right? Because the rest of the game is the same. So that's why I say a story mode is not really necessary at all. Just give me that career mode that just gives me, for the first time around for iRacing for NASCAR 25, just a fun experience. That's all I want. Nothing crazy like involving owner mode and stuff like that. I will want that in the future, but what's necessary for this one is just a working, functional career mode where I could, like, chase sponsors and make money and get fans and stuff like that. It's kind of simple, I know, but it's good. It's good for, like, the first one. And if I could own my own team and just, like, upgrade through R&D that way, instead of, like, a whole owner mode where you hire people and stuff like that, if there wants to be, like, a mini owner mode, I'm okay with that too. I just don't think it's necessary for the first game. And then one more thing I'm going to put in the necessary list, guys, is gameplay adjustments. So I took this for granted over the years, and then NASCAR 21 Ignition came in, and I realized, oh wait, no, don't take that for granted. So one thing that is absolutely necessary, guys, being able to maybe change how the AI race a little bit, like little features and settings on there to change how the AI race, very similar to NASCAR Heat. That was one of the features I liked about those games, that you could really change a lot of things. So change the way how the AI race, how they race around you, I appreciate that. But more importantly, tire wear, fuel consumption, race lengths, cautions, relaxed or strict yellows and stuff like that, black flags, green flag pit stops, all these types of stuff, I definitely is absolutely necessary. And especially when it comes to tire wear, fuel consumption, and race length. Please, 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 if this is possible. I still don't understand why it's not possible, and I am assuming it's something to do with AI and the way they pit, and so how you have to code them to pit and stuff like that. But if we could just literally run any race length we want, I would appreciate that to endless extents. I actually believe it is necessary. Like, I would want that, yes, but I believe it's necessary to be able to run a 2-lap race or 4-lap race or 6 or 12 or 28 or 27 or 36 or 150, like whatever it is. I don't want percentages, not 5%, 20%, 30%, 50%, 100%. I can't do 75%. I can't run 100 laps or 120 laps at Daytona instead of running 100 or 200. I think this is really important for league racing and stuff like that, just so you could kind of always keep it fresh with different race lengths, and also like play the game how you want to play it, because you can kind of then adjust tire wear and fuel according to the race length and really come up with some random types of finishes and races all the time. If you only have a 25% race length and a 50% race length, and those are the only two options, then you're always going to have the same race over and over and over once you can't really change other things. So that's something that I think is really, really important and really necessary in these NASCAR games that are never there. Like being able to choose how long you want the race to be. I think that's very important. And also, you know, in terms of AI as well, like in terms of the difficulty, I think the slider is necessary. I think you don't want just difficulties. You need a slider, or like 80 difficulty to 110, whatever that difficulty is. That's also very necessary as well. Those are the 4 main things that, guys, I think are necessary. I will add one more thing that's necessary, and that is online just being functional with you know, practice sessions, qualifying, and a race. That is it. Online being functional, practice session, qualifying, and a race. And I guess add like not being matchmaking. So as long as it's that, as long as I can create my lobby and, you know, be able to do those sessions, be able to make it private, that is it. It doesn't need to be anything else. You don't need to make your own like official lobbies and like matchmake. You don't need to do any of that. Just make it very, very simple, iRacing, please, because that's going to make it easy for us to run leagues, for the community to be happy with that, to make sessions, and to not be thrown into matchmaking lobbies, which are incredibly annoying. They're always chaotic and they're not fun, which is what F1 games do, and a lot of games actually end up doing with racing games, which I just don't agree with. I never have. You need to be able to make your own lobby, to be able to control who's in it, to be able to have just, you know, just not be random races. That's extremely important, guys. So those are the necessary things. Did I miss anything out, guys? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I did not say anything I wanted. I just think that is necessary. That's necessary, guys. So like, for example, a challenge mode. I actually didn't put that in. A championship season mode. Again, I didn't really put that in. Is it necessary for the first time around? I think if you have a career mode and you have race now, I actually think that's okay. You can kind of go past the championship season mode for the first game if it means getting the online working right, if it means getting a full paint booth going in. Like that, I will happily sacrifice a championship season mode if it means you get a full paint booth. You know what I mean? Like, so the sacrifice is what's on the table. What do you have to sacrifice in order to get the game out in 2025, right? And for it to be good, and for each mode to be fully fleshed and baked and completed instead of half-assed and not completed and bugs, right? So these things are very important decisions, and I think those are the things that are necessary in the game and not necessarily that are wanted in the game. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will see you guys tonight, and yeah, let's discuss, because I'm really excited for this game. It's coming out a long time from now, but it's in good hands with iRacing, and I just really am interested to see what they do with it. So take care of yourselves, guys. I will see you guys tonight. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new. Peace out.